Welcome to the E-commerce Badassery Podcast, the place for scrappy entrepreneurs who want to learn actionable steps and strategies to grow the traffic, sales, and profit in your e-commerce business. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster, a 20-year retail veteran and former brick-and-mortar boutique owner who spent 3 years as the only employee of a 7-figure online store. That shit was crazy. I know exactly how it feels to do all the things, and I'm sharing everything I learned the hard way so you don't have to. I may have started this business by accident, but supporting badass bosses like you lights me the fuck up, and I am so stoked to see you grow. Are you ready, babe? Let's roll. Welcome back to the E-commerce Badassery Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. I want to start off today's episode with a little story time. I'm not sure if you spend any of your time on TikTok as a consumer, scrolling. But if you do, there's a pretty good chance you've met Rachel, the coffee roaster and shop owner in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Rachel went viral recently for doing the thing most of us would never want to do, and that's crying on TikTok. A few years ago, Rachel quit her comfy, well-paid corporate job that made her miserable to follow her dream of being an entrepreneur. With a couple $1,000s and the help of her boyfriend, she opened up her coffee shop, Buddies. She taught herself how to roast coffee because she couldn't find a local female-owned partner to work with, and she's been grinding it out, no pun intended, ever since. Like every entrepreneur, she's been busting her ass growing her business. In addition to the brick and mortar, she's also grown the wholesale division of her business. She sells online, and she was even featured in the New York Times business section earlier this year. While everything seemed to be going in the right direction, of course, the universe had other plans for her. In the video, through her tears, she said, "Today, I just got word that I might not be able to stay in the same lease because of a rent increase, which is the reality for so many people. But not only that, right next door to me, they're putting in a coffee shop. And I don't know if I sound so stupid crying and complaining, but it just feels like you just can't win. The small people can't win." And that's a sentiment we've probably all felt at one time or another. So look, the rent raise, it sucks, right? But there's this general acceptance of, well, that shit happens. But what sounded like a corporate-owned coffee shop moving in right next door, like, damn, that hurts. Watching that video was heart-wrenching. And of course, my brain immediately was thinking like, girl, we got to get you more sales on your website. But I felt for her. And then something magical happened. The internet did its thing, and 5 million views later, people were lining up at her coffee shop, placing so many orders on her website that she's looking at a 2 to 3 week fulfillment time. And they spread the word so far and wide that even Joe Jonas shared a video of himself heading to Buddies for one of her famous lattes. And Rachel isn't the only one. Another small business, Tiara, was fighting her own battle in Philly and was at risk of losing her juice bar. That algorithm was working overtime. It obviously saw me go down the Rachel rabbit hole and started serving me some similar content. A creator who was local in Philadelphia was sharing her story. He just went to the place to get some food, check it out. He was sharing the menu and what he ordered. But he did get a chance to sit down with the owner and talk to her more about what she was struggling with and just gave her a chance to kind of tell her story. I don't remember all of the details. I tried to go back and find that video, but I couldn't find it. I think it might have been something to do about a franchising agreement. All I remember is she needed a lot of money. I think she said like $70,000. This woman had a GoFundMe set up, and so the creator donated $3,000 and shared the information with his followers. Like Rachel, Tiara's story was shared far and wide, and the last I saw, she surpassed her funding goal. Now, I realize even in the toughest of times, we probably don't want to cry on the internet in hopes that our video goes viral, right? But I think we can learn a thing or two from these badass women. First, vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. I know as a business owner, you put all of this pressure on yourself to have it all together, to always act as if everything is going great, and to only ever share the highlight reel. But what we've collectively learned, at least hopefully have learned over the last few years, is that people love the real and raw. People don't connect with perfection the same way they connect with honesty. Think about the brands you love and the creators you follow. Do you engage with the ones who act like they have it all figured out? Or do you find yourself drawn to the ones who keep it real, who admit when things aren't working, who show the behind-the-scenes chaos, who share their struggles as well as their wins? Vulnerability makes you human. And in a world where big businesses try to act small and small businesses try to act big, being real is your competitive advantage. Have you ever posted something personal? Maybe about a mistake you made, a lesson you learned, or a challenge you're facing, and had a flood of engagement? That's because people crave realness. And when you're honest about your struggles, they're going to root for you. Your community wants to support you, but you have to let them. One of the biggest mistakes small business owners make is thinking they have to do this all alone. You don't. Your customers, your audience, your community, they want to support you, but you have to let them in. You have to give them the chance to show up for you. The Brooklyn coffee shop owner didn't go viral simply because, people felt sorry for her. She went viral because she was vulnerable and told the truth, and people wanted to help. People love an underdog story. And the reality is we're all underdogs. So if you've been holding back from sharing your real struggles because you think it makes you look weak, think again. Your audience wants to know. They want to help, but they can't do that if you don't invite them in. And I'm not saying you have to be online sobbing and complaining all the time, right? Negativity tends to just breed more negativity, but that doesn't mean that once in a while, you can't just kind of show up and give them the real. And there's power in the collective. Whether it's over 3,600 people making small donations to the GoFundMe or buying coffee beans online, when people come together, magic happens. While it might seem like you need one big break, one viral moment, or one massive order to change everything, the reality is that growth happens in layers. It's not usually about one giant shift, it's the cumulative power of small wins. A steady stream of small orders can add up to more profit than one big wholesale deal. Incremental improvements to your website, your marketing, or your email strategy can lead to major increases in sales over time. Even something as simple as showing up regularly on social media can snowball into a thriving community that supports you long term. Small actions taken consistently can build something extraordinary. An online community is just as powerful as local community. A lot of e-commerce business owners feel disconnected from their customers. You don't have a physical storefront, so you don't get to see people's faces when they walk in the door. But that doesn't mean you don't have a community. Your community might be online, but it's just as real. Rachel didn't just get support from her neighborhood. People from all over the country started ordering her coffee beans online. That's the power of digital connection. So even if you don't have a physical space, you do have a space where people gather. That could be TikTok, it could be Instagram, it could be your email list. Go to wherever your people are. I think one of the most powerful lessons is that you don't get what you don't ask for. Rachel's video wasn't a marketing campaign. It wasn't some strategic PR stunt. It was a raw, honest moment where she admitted, I'm struggling. And because she asked, whether intentionally or not, because she didn't really ask in the video, people showed up for her. Tiara, same thing. She put herself out there. She didn't sit in silence hoping for a miracle. She shared her situation, and when the right person saw it, her whole reality shifted. I see so many business owners suffer in silence, trying to push through tough times alone because they don't want to look weak. But there's no weakness in asking for help, only strength. And that could look like reaching out to your audience and just telling them what's really happening. It could be tapping into your network and asking for a collaboration or a referral. Maybe you just need to ask a friend or family member to help you pack and ship all those damn orders that are backing up. Or it could look like seeking guidance from a mentor, coach, or business community. Whatever it looks like for you, the first step is speaking up. No one can support you if they don't know you need it. And do not wait for things to fall apart before you ask. And community is not just about your customers. It's also about who is in your corner. That could be, like other business owners who know what it's like to ride the roller coaster of entrepreneurship, who understand the late nights, the tough decisions, and the moments of self-doubt. Running a business can be lonely. Your friends and family might cheer you on, but they don't really get it. They don't necessarily understand the pressure of meeting sales goals, figuring out Facebook ads, or deciding whether to invest in that next big inventory order. That's why finding a community of peers is just as important as building a community of customers. Whether it's a mastermind group, a business coach, or a place where you can ask questions without feeling judged, having people in your corner makes all the difference. And if you're looking for that kind of support, that's exactly what the lounge is all about. It's not just another membership, it's a space. Come hang out with us. I would love to see you there. Whether you need business advice, fresh marketing ideas, or just someone to remind you that yes, you are actually doing a good job, we've got you. So what's the moral of the story? Being a business owner is tough, but you don't have to do it alone. Your community is your greatest asset, but you have to give them a chance to show up for you. People want to help you, including your peers, but you have to ask. You don't get what you don't ask for. Your challenge. Pick one way to show up more vulnerably in your business this week. Post a behind the scenes moment. Share something real in an email. Go live and talk about a challenge you're working through. Reach out to a biz friend and tell them that you're struggling. Let your people get to see and know the real you, the person behind the business. Connecting this way is your superpower as a small business owner. Please make sure you use it. And that, my friends, is a wrap on this week's episode. If you enjoyed it or know someone who needs to hear it, please share it with them. If nothing else, I hope it gives people that little bit of extra hope they need to keep on pushing. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I so appreciate it, and I'll see you on the flip side, friend. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about growing your e-commerce business, get started with my free resource library at ecommercebadassery.com/free stuff and get an invite to the lounge, my e-commerce marketing membership. When you're ready for one-on-one support, apply to work with me at ecommercebadassery.com/apply. Before you go, would you do me a quick favor? Leave a rating and review and tap that follow button. This pushes me up the chart so I can support more scrappy e-commerce entrepreneurs just like you. I'm on a mission to reach as many as I can, and I could really use your help. Thanks so much in advance. Until next time, e-commerce friend, stay badass.